Daniel was like a miracle, and just to be pregnant with him was just the most wonderful experience. Ray had wanted a sibling since she could speak, really. She was asking us for a sibling, but we were delighted to be pregnant with Daniel.
For Maxine, everything seemed fine during her pregnancy until the 20-week scan revealed that Daniel was developing differently. The diagnosis was overwhelming, and the family struggled with the uncertainty of what it would mean for them and for their daughter. After further appointments, they learned Daniel had Edwards syndrome, a rare genetic condition with no cure.
I really had no clue what Edwards syndrome was, what it would mean for us, and just the thought of this little girl at home waiting for her sibling to arrive and not knowing what that would mean for her and for us as a family. And that was when fetal medicine introduced us to Bethany McCracken, who is a nurse within the hospice and provides antenatal support and bereavement support. One of the first things that Bethany was able to help us with was to come out and be with our family and help us to begin to make memories and to help us to find the resources to explain to our young 5-year-old daughter what was happening and to gradually give her that information in a way that she could understand.
Baby Daniel was born on the 10th of June 2022. He passed away just 2 days later.
After Daniel had died and we had gone home and he was buried and we went through all of that, there was no break in the care. It was just a natural transition as we moved through all of Daniel's life, from pregnancy through to coming to terms with the loss of him. Within the hospice, Ray made a memory box, and there were lots of items that she was able to put into the memory box, and she still has that now, and she collects different things as we go through life and puts them in her memory box. Once we returned home and we're just moved through the process, she made a feelings volcano. So this was a creative way to connect with the feelings that she had and that sense of them all bubbling over, and she had used the word overwhelmed, but that's really what it means, a whole combination of emotions at once. And this was just a really healing process for her to do that with a significant other that wasn't her family member, and to open up in a different way. And there was a lot of work within that, helping Ray to look at herself and to look at what her brother meant to her and the questions that she might have or the things that she might need to do to remember him, and also to process what had happened in her wee life. There were things that they did, like writing messages and planting them and then watching the flowers grow as the seasons went on, which is a creative way of just helping us understand that things change over time and that, you know, the roots are still there. There were so many activities that were so relevant to children and just so supportive to me. So while I might be able to do that with my daughter, there's something different about someone else caring enough about your child to do that with them. There's something, a message that communicates to them about the value of their life and their feelings and their, you know, role in the world. Being able to look to Bethany for support around that and just to keep my feet on the ground, because I was already sort of in my own grief process, but to stay in the process with my daughter was essential. And just understanding about how children puddle jump. You know, we get into the lake of grief and we swim around for sometimes long periods of time. Ray didn't do that, and I was able, through Bethany's guidance, to really connect with that. And sometimes it was helpful for me because I could actually be led by Ray and sort of copy her and follow her, and sometimes choose to puddle jump myself. And I do think that really, really helped me. And, you know, Ray had a little doll that she actually bought herself, and she would now say it's her surrogate Daniel, but she processed so many things through pushing the doll in the pram, through asking me to carry the doll. And, you know, there's so much we can learn from children in their grief if we let them grieve.